neighbor. Today we got to do a little math. That's right. I got to figure out how much water is coming out of a fire pump discharge. So what I got to is I got my little hose set up there. I got 1.25 inches by 1.5 inches by 1T that I plugged. I got my hose and I got that 50-gallon barrel. So let's walk in here into the fire pump room. And here's what I'm going to do to figure out how much water is coming out. There is the discharge. So when I start this fire pump, it's like a big loud engine, and water comes circulating through the 1.25 inch line and goes into that drain right there. Well, that drain goes into a septic tank, and we're filling up the septic tank with too much water. So we got to figure out how much water we've been dumping in there. But you can see this is an 1.25 inch line, so I got to take this piece of pipe out and put on my 1.5 inch hose. I'll probably turn that 90 this way a little bit to get a good flow out of the hose. Okay, so I don't know if this should be in regular mode or time-lapse mode. Let's put you in time-lapse, and if I find anything interesting, I'll put you back. All right, I got the old clip in here. You know that old clip in? Oh. Yeah, so I'm going to clip in my light, my camera right here. Turn on my light, and let's get to work. Let's see how many gallons or how many seconds. Do you have a guess on how many seconds it's going to fill that barrel? I say 20 seconds, but I could be wrong. All right, let's find out. Okay, action. So I got you clipped into my helmet, my hard hat, and I do like this camera because I could put you right in my pocket here, and hopefully that's good enough for you. All right, let's go get my adapter and wrenches and get to work. Yeah, what's going on here is they have a septic tank, and we are just putting too much water into that septic tank. So we're not gonna run a hose into the landscaping now, and we're gonna water some trees and bushes instead of putting all that water into a septic tank, which is not good. Yeah, they couldn't figure out how come all their water was going into their septic tank. I've already undid this little screw here off of this clamp. So now we're gonna, and a good way to know if you're taking a pipe apart is always pull towards you. That means you're loosening. So that's how I remember. So when I'm pulling my wrench toward me, that means I'm loosening. Watch this. That shouldn't be that tight because it's just a drain. There it goes. You see that? I'm loosening. I pull towards me. So if you ever wonder which way to loosen, pull towards you. Okay. So there's that is loose. And we'll keep that and we'll stick that back in at the end of the day. Okay, here's my little adapter. I think I'm going to turn this. Hopefully this won't be that tight. See how I can't get my backup wrench on it. There you go. Yeah, you see all the teeth marks on there. This thing's probably really tight. I might just go, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on the fitting. I'm going to turn this fitting instead. Oh, I think I am. Nope. Let's see if I can loosen this thing. There we go. That's what we want. We'll just loosen it. That's pretty smart, right? To loosen it. Okay, we're going to do that right there. Then we're going to stick this in there. You like that? Okay, if you like it, I like it. So we'll crank on this a little bit. Just get this tight. We're going to take all this back out, so it doesn't have to be that tight, but at the same breath, we don't want it leaking in here. Okay, that's pretty tight. I like that. Okay, so now we just hook up our hose. Yeah, and I think I'm going to tie this hose to this little handrail. But we got to make sure we remember to start our our stopwatch. This looks like it'll be plenty of hose. Make sure you got a rubber gasket in there. You don't want a big leak. Not that you would hurt anything in this pump room, but you never know. You never know. Okay. So now we'll tighten this up a little bit. Beautiful. Now we're going to go outside. Make sure this has no restriction to it. Look at that. All right, well, I've never done this before, so this is just a big experiment to me. So I don't know what's going to go on, but here's my setup. I got my hose and my barrel. And I'm going to tie that just like that. Look at that. That's a pretty good tie. Now how is that going to work? Like that. Come on. Yeah, get that down in there. I don't know how much it's going to be flopping around. Okay, well, let's go start our pump and see what happens. I'm going to put my phone on a timer and we'll go from there. All right. Let's cut this video. Cut. Okay, before we always run this pump, everybody knows before you run a pump, here's what you do. You check the water, you check the oil. That oil looks full and clean. So there's plenty of oil in it. We're checking the water. Plenty of water in the reserve. We check our heat exchanger, that thing is nice and warm. We check our hours, and we want to make sure our hours haven't changed. Has this pipe, so it's 30.1 hours. Then we go over there and we check that and make sure it's 30.1. So I've already checked my battery fluid. I checked my oil, I checked my water, I checked my heat exchanger. Okay, it's time to run this fire pump for 30 minutes. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run this thing for 30 minutes, but I'm gonna start my timer and we're gonna see how long it takes to fill up a 50-gallon drum. Let's go. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, we're going to start this pump real quick just to see what this hose does. I'll turn it off right now. Undo this. This is how you start your pump. You got to relieve the pressure off of the control panel. Here we go. Okay, I started that. Now I'm going to silence that, and it looks like I got water into my hose. So here we go. We're going to start our time watch. Let's cut this video. Okay, action. Here we go. There we are. We're running. You see that? Now we're going to run this pump for 30 minutes. but I want to see how long it takes for that barrel to fill up. So we're gonna start my watch as soon as that watch, you see that 15, 14, 13. Okay, in 10 seconds, we're gonna start that pump, start this stopwatch, and go look at that thing fill up. 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, 1 minute and 45 seconds. One minute and 45 seconds to fill up that barrel. Okay, it was 1 minute and 45 seconds to fill up that barrel. And now, I guess every week, I'm going to be watering these plants. So no more water is going into the septic tank. You gotta love this camera. All right, let's put you in time-lapse mode. Cut. Okay, our hour's 30.6. We ran it for 30 minutes. Get ready to turn it off. So that number should be 30.6 for the hours, yep. Turn this back on. Acknowledge, silence. Okay, let's put this all back together. Finish our paperwork. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. That's right, today we're still gonna hook up this hose. Let me show you, I'm still running water out of that discharge line, and you can see how much water is going through it on a 24-hour basis. But we're gonna see how much water is going through an 1.5-inch hose, which is out of an 1.25-inch pipe, so you do the math. And that is a 32-gallon barrel. I found that out. So I'm gonna put you into time-lapse mode because these videos are too long, I'm telling you. I don't even have that much time. So let's put you in time-lapse mode. This time I'm gonna clip you right here and see how that angle works. Usually you're right here on this rim, but now I'm gonna clip you right here and see how that works. Let's go. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. In this portion of the video, I clipped you on my chest, and boy, are we moving along fast. There's me undoing the wire of the alarm panel and hooking up this hose. That's right. We have been dumping too much water into the septic system. And this building's about a couple years old, and we're just figuring this out now, that there has been too much water going into the septic system every week. So we did a little test and hooked up a hose and figured out how much water was coming out of that hose. And here's the plumber who was telling me everything he did to try to figure out what was going on. And sure enough, we took some pictures and got on video chat and figured out what we all knew already, that the fire sprinkler guys were dumping too much water into the septic system. So that's what we determined after a lot of higher ups got involved. But I did figure out that I have a 32-gallon barrel there that I fill up in about 1 minute and 45 seconds. So you can do the math on that. There is a chart we use. But anyway, I am going to have to hook up that hose every week when I run this fire pump, which it's not a big deal, but it is a deal. You know, you are wasting so much water. I wish I could save all that water. But as I check everything for leaks, I walk around the pump and take all my notes and do all my paperwork. Now I have to do a little extra work putting all this stuff back in the back of that truck. Oh well. But you have 30 minutes to do nothing while that pump is running. Some days I wipe it down and make it really clean. So here I'm checking my phone for a minute, which not a good thing to do when you're working, but that thing is loud, so you need a little break. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these time-lapse adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and again. Bye-bye. Okay, it is apparent that I am watering the landscaping. I don't know if you can see that. That's it. These trees are going to get a good watering every week. I've already watered this much, but I'm making a big lake over there. See that? Yeah, look at my feet. quiet, quiet. All right, so after I run these pumps, I open up this emergency discharge and I can let water run through there for a minute. And I'll do that while I rehook up this black. To keep all these strobes from going off here, you got to undo that black wire, and that keeps all the strobes. So that black wire is going to go right there. All right, let's rehook that up and redo this alarm panel. All right, so where do you want to sit? Right there? Okay. Okay, let me get my screwdriver. We'll hook up this cord. I always acknowledge, silence, reset. Then you got a couple seconds to get over here and stab that. A couple seconds and I'm going. Right there. My couple seconds are up. Okay. Acknowledge, silence, reset. Then I'll come over here. Turn my pump back on. It's beeping because the pump wasn't on. So acknowledge, silence, reset. Turn this off. Turn that off. Turn that off. And now I'm going to unhook up that hose and roll it up and keep it here in case I don't come back. Something happens to me, the next guy will have a hose to run out the door. So there you go. One fire sprinkler pump discharge math. I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, there you go. Let me set you down right here. Oh, that's another thing. You hear that wind? This camera, listen. Yeah, the Insta360. This camera is not good in the wind. It's good for some things, but some things it's not good for. Just like us all. We're all like that. Well, let's set you right there then. Will you stay? Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these fire pump discharge adventures. Yeah, let's go see how much water we did. I'm not done with you yet. Oh, I can't because of the wind. But yes, I can. Yeah, we didn't make too bad of a mess. All right. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that. Hippie jazz. Jazz, jazz, jazz. Echo, echo, echo. Yep, that was loud, wasn't it? That's the old pump. I can stop that stopwatch. We run it for 30 minutes. So, yeah. This old pump has some hours on it. All right. Postscript over. Palm to the camera.